start looking at what meaning you give each moment, and then how that's shaping what emotions you feel and what results you're getting from that meaning that you've given it. That thing, that situation, that time, that place, the conversation, the incident. Does that make sense? I'll give you an extreme example. There's a man called Viktor Frankl, a book called Man's Search for Meaning. Anyone read it or know about it? Anyone? You started reading it? And he talks, so it's basically I think it was a psychologist or a therapist who was in the war camps in World War II and the concentration camps, which is the most horrific of places any human being can be subjected to. And he noticed that some people would survive from this place and other people won't. And he was curious on what is it that allows people to survive the most horrible of all situations for any human being. And he realized that the people who survived gave that whole thing a different meaning. Now they had the right to choose a meaning that, well, they had the right to choose any meaning. A lot of times they were not aware that they were choosing a disempowering meaning. So it caused them to eventually, die, lose their life in some way or another. And then there's others who gave it, imagine giving the most horrific of situations an empowering meaning. Like actually to be in a place where you could step back, look at it, and still, through the most horrible things, choose to give it an empowering meaning. So he gave himself empowering meanings in that situation, and he said, look, they can do whatever they want to this body, but they can't take my dignity. Or something along those lines. So no matter what was done to him, they couldn't take his peace of mind, they couldn't take his joy, because that was within him. They couldn't take that away from him. Even if they did kill him, they couldn't take that away from him. So he came out actually surviving the concentration camps. And he went on to create, I think it's the institute or something, and started teaching about the power of meaning. So if you're interested, you can read the book. It's quite interesting. But just to give you an idea, an extreme example of choosing and knowing that you have the power of choice in any situation to choose a more empowering meaning. Now you have the right, you guys have the right to choose a meaning that maybe you gave before, and maybe it was empowering to you up to a certain point. Maybe it served its purpose. And then maybe you've seen after a certain time that actually it wasn't really working and the cost was actually higher than the benefit of it. Right? So at any point in time, you can, in any of these situations, go back and choose a different meaning, a more empowering meaning, so that it doesn't run your life anymore. Now the thing happened. That thing happened. And that was a long time ago. You were 8. It was horrific. You're right. No human should go through that, and all the other stuff that you explained as well. And you have all the right to choose that meaning. Whether you have all the right to choose to blame, right? You have the right. It is your right to do that. But if you choose that, certain meanings that you give will give you a certain set of results. And then a different meaning will give you a different set of results. So, firstly, if you're looking at certain areas, and as I'm talking, you're probably going through in your mind, perhaps of some situation or a situation in your mind where you've given meaning because there was suffering there, or maybe there is still suffering in your life, and that meaning has caused the suffering. By the way, by choosing a certain meaning, you're choosing your suffering, or you're choosing your peace of mind. Some of you have been suffering with some things for a long time. So what meaning, what is it that you're suffering with, and what meaning are you giving that thing? And how is it working out for you, this suffering thing? Are you ready to be done with it? In other words, you have all the right. No one's taking it away from you. You have all the right to choose the suffering, but would you like to hang on to it? And if you don't, that's cool too. What's the new meaning that you'd like to give it? Right? If you could find in your most challenging situations in your life and turn it around, step back, look at it and turn it around and go, this is the gift in this situation. If you wanted to see a gift in it, could you see a gift in it? Could you see that maybe it was a guided moment in some way, even if it was horrific? Because you made it, you're here. You survived. You made it. But you might have survived, but are you still suffering? And are you ready to stop suffering? So while you can choose that disempowering meaning, which you didn't know it was disempowering before because you were doing your best, but now you might, because you're in a different place in your life and you've done some work. So now if you were to choose a more empowering meaning to that, and to see the gift in that, to see the divine moment in that, what would it be? And how could this new meaning shape your life from this point on? I hope you enjoyed that. Remember to leave me a comment below or any questions you may have about the topic covered. And if you haven't done so yet, hit subscribe and the bell icon so you'll be the first to know when I upload my next video. Also, if you know someone who may benefit from this video, please hit share and share it with them. Lastly, I commend you for your commitment to growth and personal transformation. Here's to your epic awakened life. See you in my next video.